Hey guys, we are back in the workshop and today I've got a really cool project for you because we are working on Tantoblades today, and I have the endometer Tanto. You might be familiar with the normal endometer, and I've also got a Tanto version of this one, and I want to finish a couple of these today and get them out there, and I just thought I'd take you along and show you how I grind Tanto blades. And before you start grinding on these Tantos, you want to lay out some good layout lines, especially a good center line. And I'm going to use some blue Dicam and a height gauge to scribe some center lines so everything is nice and symmetrical, because with the Tanto your grinds need to be on spot, otherwise everything will look wonky and you won't get a good result. Now I'm in my grinding room and I have attached my 16-inch contact wheel, and you don't need that big of a contact wheel, but I want to have a really nice high grind on those knives. And if you're using a smaller contact wheel, like let's say a 10-inch, then the bevel doesn't get as high with the hollow grind, so therefore I'm using this 16-inch hollow grind. And this is how I set up my belt grinder. I have my work rest right here, so I have a really nice stable position to grind, because I want to grind a long smooth hollow grind all the way up, but I don't want to grind on the tip, so the hollow grind is going to move on this direction right here, and I don't want to cant the knife into it because I need that material later to grind in that different tip. So I'm going to grind just like that, and then of course in the other side as well. So this is going to be the first task, to grind in that hollow grind and trying to stay as straight as possible. And if you have problems with freehand grinding, you can also take a jig to it and grind that in with a knife holding jig. So now I'm done with the hollow grinding part of these knives, and now I have to change out the hollow grinding wheel to my flat platen. And I've got a special flat platen because this one has a carbide face on it, so it stays super flat. Because normally when you get a belt grinder, they are getting delivered with a mild steel flat platen, and they can get a little bit wonky after a while or uneven because they're mild steel, so they're getting used up by the abrasion of the belt, of the pushing and all that kind of stuff. And these carbide plates stay super flat. So now I have adjusted my work rest a little bit lower than normally, because otherwise when you're grinding you would grind down here and that would be super uncomfortable. But what I want to do is, because now I have this portion right here is still thick, so we want to grind that down and we want to get that cool Tanto tip looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one of my hands on the work rest right here, and then I can hold that knife like that, and the work rest just gives me a better resting point, so I get the same angle on both sides, and I don't just, the belt doesn't push down on the knife and I have to find my angle. So that's why I'm doing it just like that, and then you can really easily find your angle on those Tanto tips. So guys, these three knives are now ready to be heat treated, and after the heat treatment I can thin them down a little bit more. So the Tantos are now heat treated, reground, and also tempered, of course. And now I can start working on those handles. And I'm sorry that I forgot to film the regrinding of these knives. I was just super busy, but it's actually just the same as before. You just have to be a little bit more careful so you don't overheat your blades. So for the handles, I want to build one with black G10, one of course with Tiffany, and one with OD green and black right here. So some of my keen followers have already noticed that I'm not doing a complete rock pattern on these handles, because today I want to try something different. I did a partial rock pattern, but I want to do a different texture on the flats of the handle, and I'm going to use my Dremel and this round little carbide burr because I want to try a new texture out. The handles are now done, and now of course I can apply a stonewash finish to these knives, because I think the stonewash will give those handles an even better look, better contrast, instead of those bright just stonewash blades. Tantos are now done, and I'm pretty happy with the new texture that I've tried out. It looks super unique, and I'm really happy with everything, especially the Tiffany one. I don't know why, but the texture just pops out just a little bit more than on the other darker colors, and I'm just super happy that I tried that out and gave it a shot, and I'm so happy. And if you have any kind of questions, just drop them down below into the comments. I try to answer them as quickly as possible. And if you like that video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more content like that, just hit that subscribe button, and we'll see us next Friday.